But first thing first, why it's so hard to be inconsistent? Well, part of the problem is that our brains are wired to seek immediate rewards. We love the rush of starting something new. But as the novelty wears off, so does our motivation. I remember when I first started working out regularly, I was so pumped up at the beginning, new workout gear, fresh playlists, and whatnot. But a few weeks in, I found myself skipping sessions. And before I knew it, my gym routine was more like an occasional visit than a habit. Sound familiar? James Clear, in his book Atomic Habits, talks about how motivation gets you started, but it's the habits that keep you going. And this is what most of us struggle with. We rely too much on motivation, which is fleeting, instead of building systems that support our consistency. So let's see what we can do to be more consistent. So let's start with the first reason why you're not consistent. It might sound simple, but it's the truth. You're not clear on your why. This is something I've personally struggled with for years. I would start something new, get really excited, and then 2 weeks later, I'd lose all motivation. Then I started questioning myself, why did I start this task in the first place? Was it personal? Was it to gain external validation or internal? What is the deeper reason behind this goal? Because if you don't have a strong reason, it's easy to lose interest when things get tough. Like I was saying earlier, when I first decided to join the gym, the reason was pretty superficial. I just thought it's the it thing to do because everybody is doing it around me and I can show it off on my social media platforms, right? How lame, I know. So that didn't get me very far. No surprises there. I lost interest pretty quickly, but when I reframed my why, thinking about how this could really help me in maintaining a healthy lifestyle, positive effects of exercise on mental well-being and health overall, now this could really assist me in continuing playing my favorite sports. That's when things started to click for me. I found a deeper motivation and it kept me going even when the learning got tough. Another example, when I started this YouTube channel, my why was to share my journey and knowledge to help others grow. This was bigger than just gaining subscribers or views. It was about making an impact. And that keeps me going even on days when I don't feel like filming or editing. And the same idea is also explored in Simon Sinek's book, Start With Why. He argues that people who know their why are more motivated and consistent because they're driven by a deeper purpose. My second strategy is all about routine. Building a consistent routine can make a huge difference. When something becomes part of your daily routine, it stops being a chore and just becomes a natural part of your day. For me, I have found that the more I can automate my day, the more consistent I become. For example, I wake up at the same time every single day. After offering my prayers, I have my morning water along with what I write. I've taken this cue from Morning Pages technique from Julia Cameron. Then I do some yoga, I water the plants, and then I dive straight into my most important task of the day. It's a routine that sets me up for the day. And because it's a habit now, it doesn't require a ton of mental energy to stick with it. A study from Duke University found that up to 40% of our daily actions are driven by habits, not decisions. This means that if you can turn your desired behavior into routines, you are much more likely to stay consistent without even thinking about it. And here's the tip endorsed by James Clear in his book Atomic Habits. Make habits so small and simple that they are almost impossible to fail. This is something that changed the game for me as well. For instance, when I was trying to get consistent with working out, I started by just doing 5 minutes yoga every morning. It seemed ridiculously easy, but that was the whole point. Over time, it became a longer routine for me that I now do without even thinking about it. And that's the key. The key is to start small and build from there. Similarly for the gym, instead of committing to an hour at the gym every single day, I started with just 15 minutes and guess what? Those 15 minutes often turn into 30 or even 45 minutes. But it felt less daunting because I'd set the bar low enough to ensure I could clear it consistently. One of the biggest mistakes we make is setting goals that are too big too soon. It's like trying to climb Everest before you have even hiked a small hill. Instead, start with small, achievable goals. This approach is also backed by the research too. A study published in the Journal of Behavioral Medicine found that people who set smaller incremental goals were more likely to stick with their routines over the long term compared to those who set ambitious, all or nothing goals. My number 3 strategy is that you're relying too much on motivation. And this is a big one. Motivation is fleeting. It's there one day and gone the next. But discipline and habits, on the other hand, are what keep you going in the long run. There's a quote which I love so much, and that says, discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want the most. And that's so true. For example, there were times when I just didn't feel like working on a project. whether it was editing a video or writing a script. But I knew that if I only worked when I felt like it, I would never get anything done. So instead of relying on motivation, I built a schedule and I stuck to it, no matter what. And this is something that Cal Newport talks about in his book Deep Work, where he emphasizes the importance of developing the ability to focus without distraction on a cognitively demanding task. It's not about being motivated all the time. Instead, it's about being disciplined enough to follow it through. My fourth point is the environment you work in. Trust me when I say that. The environment has a massive impact on our consistency. Your surroundings play a crucial role in your ability to stay consistent. If your environment is cluttered, distracting, or uninspiring, it's going to be tough to maintain focus and stay on track. There's a lot of research that shows how our environment influences our behavior. A study by the University of Exeter found that people who have control over the layout and design of their workspace are 32% more productive than those who don't. And if I tell you about myself, for me as well, creating a dedicated workspace has been a game changer. I used to work wherever, on the couch or the dining table, in my bedroom, anywhere. But I found that while doing that, I wasn't that productive. Now I have a space that's just for work, and it's made a huge difference in how consistent I am. It's like when I'm in this space, my brain knows that it's time to focus. So it doesn't really wander around, doesn't go anywhere, it just does the work. My strategy number 5 is accountability. Having someone else who knows about your goals and checks in with you can be a game changer. We often think that we can do everything on our own. But the truth is, having someone to keep you accountable can be a powerful motivator. It's why workout buddies exist, why people hire coaches, and why masterminds are so effective. When someone else is counting on you, or when you have made a commitment to someone, you're far more likely to follow that through. I have a friend who I check in with regularly about our fitness goals. We push each other, share progress, and honestly, knowing that someone else is keeping an eye on my progress keeps me from slacking off. So on the days when I'm not really feeling like it, mostly I still get it done, knowing that I'm accountable. Research also backs this up. A study published in the American Journal of Lifestyle Medicine found that people who had an accountability partner were more likely to achieve their goals, compared to those who tried to go it alone. So find a friend, a coach, or even an online community to keep you on track. For instance, when I don't have anybody around me, I also use my social media to share my progress. For example, on my Instagram, I post a picture of my watch every single day, showing my exercise of the day. And if I fail to do that, I feel something is missing. So that really gives me a check that I am on track or not. And last but not the least, be kind to yourself. Consistency doesn't mean perfection. You're going to slip up, and that's okay. The key is not to let one bad day turn into a bad week or a month. And we all do that. I used to beat myself up every single time I missed my morning yoga, or if I didn't stick to my schedule. But that just made it harder to get back on track. Now I practice self-compassion. Even if I slip up, I remind myself that it's just one day, and I can start fresh tomorrow. And that's another important reminder. Let's start from the very next day, without waiting for a fresh start on Monday. Brené Brown actually talks about this in her book called The Gifts of Imperfection. She emphasizes on the importance of self-compassion in maintaining resilience and consistency. Remember, it's about progress, not perfection. So there you have it. 6 things that help me immensely to stay consistent, and also why you might be struggling with it. Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about making progress. Start by getting clear on your why, build small habits, rely on discipline over motivation, optimize your environment, find someone to keep you accountable, and be kind to yourself. Consistency is a skill, and like any other skill, it can be learned and mastered with time too. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you have not done that yet, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my future videos. And finally, I would like to hear from you. What is that one thing you're going to do today to start building more consistency? Drop in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.